Good afternoon, everyone. Today's project is the last zero turn. Man, boy, I really should have cleaned that up. Yeah, I gotta get that cleaned up before I get started on this because it looks like garbage. Okay, as I was saying, this is the last zero turn to work on, or last piece of equipment, I guess, that I can think of, that needs to be taken care of. There's not a lot to be done in this. I have to take the grass flap off because this was set up for fall mulching, and because I had my Gravely I was doing the cleanups with, so the tires are set really low. Actually, this one's flat, but I always keep the tires soft when I don't have the bagger on, because that way it not as bumpy going across these bumpy yards. So anyhow, after all that, got to take the grass flap off. We got to fix that bar because this right here, I fight with this all the time. So I'm going to have to turn this handle. Because what happens is this keeps bending over farther and farther and farther, so I'm going to have to do something different with this, because as you can see, it just keeps doing that. So I think I'm going to have to drill a hole in here with a bolt and a nylock nut to keep this tightened up. I have to drive this back in there because, yeah, it's a good design, or a good thought, I guess, bad design, because this just keeps bending. Eventually, this is going to break. So we're going to try to prevent that from happening today. Get this all fixed the way it should be, I guess. Unless I just move this closer. Yeah, I think it still might bend there. I don't know. We'll see how this works anyhow. This bolt is going to come out and we're going to go from there. And the nice part about this bolt on is this stuff comes off real easy. So I'm going to go with the 1/2 inch on this. Why is that sitting like that? Oh, I know why it's sitting like that, so I can pop this off real easy. There we go. That's why I have that like that, just because it works out easier for me. Because this tape comes on and off real fast. So, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, you forget what's going on after quite a while of not using this, or not switching this off, I guess. Last year we never had the bagger on here, but maybe once. So yeah, now since I sold the Gravely, this is going to be our full-time bagging machine until we hit our drought this summer sometime, which is usually about June. And about middle of June is when it stops raining, and that's when we pick all our decks up and just go to mulching strictly till about August. Then we put the bagger back on. Yeah, I have to replace this every time that we do that, but I buy these in a package and they're cheap. Real cheap. But they work. This is why I have to put new ones on all the time. I don't want to lose these pins or nothing, so I just put them right back in. Because this can be a pain in the butt if you start losing stuff. That's all there is to it. Also have to change this baffle out. There's another baffle that comes in about here for the bagging system, so we're going to take care of that too. First got to clean all the clippings out of there so I can get to the nut. Yep. Fall mulching season. comes the pain in the butt part. Trying to reach in here and grab all this stuff. Because you kind of have to snug them both up at the same time, because otherwise it won't fit right. And I should have cleared it off just a little bit better on the inside ledge here. But this is slotted to lift it up or set it down, so that makes it easier too. Get on your hands and knees. Use a bungee cord. So the biggest thing, there's always a gap right here if I don't do it right. So let's see how this is, or if it's bent. See how that drew down? That means I hit her a couple too many times and it's bent. So, yeah, once the grass gets in there, it'll seal it up. A little bit dusty at first, but it'll go away fast, really fast. Make sure there's nothing under it because it won't sit right. That's all there is to it. And the belt's pretty easy. Oh, it feels like I gotta get a longer belt on that. So. That's where I put that. That's all there is to it. I just put this cable up in here. It holds there pretty decent. And if it doesn't work there, just put it in this other one. But it stays there, so I don't have to worry too much about it. I did have to change. I went up an inch on this pulley. It's 5.5 now instead of 4.5 because this would be, the hose and everything would get plugged up because it just wasn't spinning enough volume through it. You know, I'm going to drill a pilot hole in there just because this is pretty tough stuff. It looks like that's where the plate sits. So, you might think to yourself, how am I going to get this lined up with the bracket that's there? I'm just going to line this up and start a drill bit through there. Start a drill bit. Yeah, start drilling through there and go from, drill it from the one side, I guess. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Going to snug this up just a bit. See how that's opening up? That's the problem. So I am going to put a bolt through here, a long bolt, and hold it tight, or tighten it up, I guess. Now this works. I thought it was going to work. Let's try it a little tighter maybe, I guess. That did it. It's difficult to pull it out of there. That's what I want. So that means it's going to hold good. So that's fixed. As far as I know, it's fixed. Another thing I like is how fast this hooks up. That's it. That's all there is to it. Super simple. So yeah, these things are a little low. And I got a little tire gauge that measures 1 pound at a time. So we're over 20. I don't want to be. I want to be around 20. So that way it's a little soft. It doesn't bounce as much. On the front tires, that is. Gives me a little softer of a ride. It's 19. It went up that fast. 20. Doing the same thing with this side. Whoops. There we go. One more shot. $20. And the same thing with this. It's pretty low. Probably about 12 pounds or 8 pounds or 7 pounds. £11. I like 20 pounds on here too. Just because that bagger ends up weighing so much when we're doing a cleanup. Compressor should kick on here in a minute. $16. $18.50. And 20. Tires are all good. Everything seems to be okay. All the bolts are in where they need to be. $1,050 for the next oil change. How many hours are on here? Turn the key on to see. What did I say? 1,050. So yeah, we're right at doing an oil change. So I'm going to have to get some oil and some filters for this. Because I change this about every 100 hours. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I got to grease this thing. And it's a messy job to do this. And I did have a nice air-driven or pneumatic grease gun from Harbor Freight, but it didn't last. I got the cheapest one and it just didn't last. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have enough grease. I might have to go get some more of that too. Beginning of season, we're always low on everything. And this is just a pain in the butt. I don't know who put these grease fittings under here, but they are just hard to get to. Because the fitting don't like fit between the greaser and the spring. So I fight to get it on there. Then you're going to have to fight to get it back off. Yeah, these are just a pain, a real pain to get on. Let's see, I got a pulley there. Last one, it's real fun to get to. Okay, so the deck was going up and down fairly difficult, so I'm going to give this a couple pumps on each side. It's popping. And it's coming out. Need a couple of these where the arms are at. This is only going to take a pump. Maybe two. Yep, one. So, there is more. There's more grease fittings up underneath here, but I got to take the wheels off to get to them. And I'm not going to do that until I get the oil and the filters for that. So this is pretty much done for. I'm going to go today. Okay, so now you see what it takes to set this up from mulching to bagging, which doesn't take much. And the reason why I go to bagging is we're going to start with the cleanups and the thatching. So this is going to be bagging all the time. And as you heard, this thing just sings out there with the pulley being a little bit bigger. It's just turning a lot of RPMs, and it pushes a lot of everything through that 8-inch hose, which Gravely, the Protero had a 7-inch hose, and it was spinning less RPMs on the impeller, but it was smaller, and it pushed a lot of CFMs through there, and this has got a little more volume, so it can get plugged up in the wet areas, but it's not too bad anymore since I changed that pulley up to a bigger pulley. I have got to get a new belt because that belt's on there pretty tight. That's probably about 2 inches too short because of that pulley being big. So anyhow, after all of that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please comment, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for when the next video is released. Everybody have a good evening, and we will see you on the next video.